上选手请停止赛前练习。现场的球迷友，大家好，欢迎各位莅临新庄体育馆，一起欣赏 P.LEAGUE 2021-2022年赛季前的热身赛。今天这场比赛呢，将是由桃园领航员出战新竹街口工程师的精彩比赛。 比赛开打之前，首先会介绍的是身着深色裙的桃园领航员登陆球员名单。首先会介绍的是身着深色裙的客队桃园领航员登陆球员名单，球衣背号5号施延中，6号关达佑，7号林耀中。 球衣背号12号李家康，25号林正，背号45号温立煌，球衣背号69号卢俊祥。 这个介绍的是桃园领航员先发5人名单，球衣背号3号吴家俊，背号13号陈玉瑞，22号黄宏汉，球衣背号28号施敬尧。 为各位介绍的是球衣背号30号陈冠全，桃园领航员篮球队总教练郑志龙，助理教练严行书、杨义峰、柯焕维，总经理陈信安。这里为各位介绍的是身着浅色裙的新竹街口工程师篮球队登陆球员名单。 球衣背号4号高国豪，6号陈坚恩，背号8号朱云豪，24号郭少杰。 球衣背号52号龙立生，这里会介绍的是新竹街口工程师篮球队先发5人名单，球衣背号5号宋宇轩，9号田浩，背号12号李佳瑞。 36号林怡辉，最后各位介绍的是球衣背号54号吴代豪，新竹街口工程师篮球队总教练吕冠伦，助理教练沈星汉，球队顾问陈志忠，总经理高景言。让我们欢迎的是我们的领队 Lisa 来到我们的活动现场，欢迎。
好的，请上方球员至场中央。我们现在呢要准备进行的是我们大合照的部分，被你看到了。 绝对不是我吓到软腿，对，不是我紧张，好不好 ？OK， 那我们来分两边来面对我们的媒体记者朋友，来前面，我在你们之中，我完全被你们盖过、啊，身高完全被你们盖过。OK， 麻烦帮我们请两队球员稍微往后退一点，然后到皇冠的尖点，对，再后退一点点。好的，媒体记者朋友们，这个位置可以吗？再稍微靠拢一点，这样可以吗 ？OK， 来帮我们看一下前面的媒体记者朋友们。好的，还没结束 ，OK 吗？来帮我们看前面还有手机，来准备，好，3、2、1，好，请问还有媒体记者朋友还没有拍好的吗 ？OK， 都已经好了。好，请我们双方球员回到我们的板凳区休息，谢谢这两队球员。
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, seniors and youth. Day 2 here in New Taipei, where the Kings host the first preseason stop of the 2021-2022 Plus League season. We were treated to an exciting game yesterday between the Lioneers and the host, the New Taipei Kings. What will the two games today bring us? On screen now is the matchup card. The visiting team, in this case, is the Taoyuan Pilots. They're playing their first game and against the Lioneers, who are coming off a victory yesterday. I'm Ryan Chen, your English play-by-play, and alongside me is Coach Benjamin Metcalf. Welcome on the broadcast.
Hey Ryan, great to be back and great to be here for these two exciting preseason games we got scheduled.
On your screen, on the second row, is the evening matchup. That's the Taipei Fubon Braves with a very exciting roster situation coming up against the host in the New Taipei Kings. The fans filing in, you get 2 games for 1 ticket.
Well, Ryan, I know you're a baseball guy, but for me, being a basketball guy, this is my first doubleheader that I've been a part of. So hopefully we got some good games to keep us occupied.
That's right. Last year in the preseason, I was joined by, at first, Jason and then by Andy. So here is the regular season schedule. It'll be 15 home games for a total schedule of 90 games in the regular season. Coach, the increase in the games, is it much of a challenge for the teams, or is it a lot more practice and maybe a little less practice?
And I think you brought up the most important point. Less practice time, more games for these players, more teams, more opponents, something for everybody to look forward to.
Also a change will be 13 players are allowed on the active roster on game days, 19 players overall on their registered roster. That is the same. Now, because of our experience last year, imports in the league are only allowed to sign with 1 team, and the rules state that imports from other leagues in Taiwan also cannot join Plus League teams partway through the season. On the screen now are our commentators on the Mandarin side. That's Zhang Yaozong, Eddie on the right, and Aaron Yang Zhenlei coming back after a long stint away from the Plus League broadcast, doing a good job. 各位朋友要看中文的转播，按中文的 YouTube 连接，或者电视按双语就可以。Two general managers for the teams that are in the building. It's Chen, and yesterday we saw a lot of James Mao Jiawen. Yeah. Coach Ben, we didn't get to ask you much about James last season, being you were my color commentators, but I got any quick notes about what James is like from a player's perspective, from a coach's perspective?
Yeah, you mentioned James and Sean right there together, two players that I had the opportunity to coach for a long time. Again, both players that have helped me have some great memories, win some championships, and just talking to James this summer, he's had a tough job starting up this expansion team. It's been a great experience, and again, from the roster that we've seen so far and from their experience on the court last night, we can see he's done a great job so far.
Fans filing in. There was a little bit of trouble, of course, in Taiwan. Wherever you go to a public space, you have to do your registration, name, number, and ID. And also, I believe soon enough, Taiwan will be requiring vaccination records. So fans, be sure to arrive early at the stadiums for P.LEAGUE or any other event here in Taiwan as we try to do our part to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Yeah, obviously last season ended on a kind of sour note with the pandemic interrupting some of the games, but fortunately for now, Taiwan's in a good situation where we can have big crowds like we have today and to come see and cheer on their home team. And with Hsinchu here, with the Lioneers, a lot of away fans too.
Saw previously on the screen is Zhen Zilong, the new head coach for the Pilots. Coach Ben, I don't think you ran across him as an opponent when you were a coach. I believe he finished his previous stint 7 years ago. We'll talk about that after we get through the starting lineups. Wu Jiajun, Chen Yingrui, Huang Yinghuan, Shi Jinyao, and Chen Guanquan for the Pilots. Tian Hao, Song Yuxuan, Li Jiarui, Lin Yunhui, and then Wu Daihao. We'll get to all their English names as the play goes on, and we're getting to see the new white-colored uniforms for the Lioneers after seeing their black set yesterday, and the Pilots also with a gradient orange lettering. We'll check that out coming up.
Geez, that's my English word of the day, Ryan. Gradient. It's something I've never said for a uniform before.
You know, when you play enough on the Microsoft Word app, please sponsor us, Microsoft, then you'll learn what the gradients are when you're a student in school like I was back in the early 2000s. So the only change for the Lioneers in the starting lineup is Tian Hao taking the place of Oscar Gao Guohao. But an impressive and theatric performance, I keep saying, yesterday.
Yeah, obviously for this first stop in the preseason, no imports going to be joining us for this game. Good experience for these local players and good chance for us fans to kind of see what systems that these coaches have put in over the summer. We saw the Lioneers coach right there with a couple changes that we saw yesterday. I'm sure we'll get into that later in the game. And then with Coach Along there, we'll see what he's going to run with this new team that he's got in charge of this season.
The tip is up and controlled by number 28, Shi Jinyao. Fans know him well on the English broadcast. He catches on the right. Doubled off the pick and roll. The Lioneers did that a lot yesterday. And a fadeaway by Pong Pong, Chen Guanquan.
Yeah, that mid-range soft touch that Pong Pong is so well known for. That time with the fadeaway. Nice finish off that ATO set.
Loose with the basketball, but Lin Yunhui, who goes by Ryan, saved it before crossing the timeline. Deflected pass. Lioneers left with 4.5 seconds. Or the Pilots, excuse me, left to defend.
Yeah, the Pilots did a good job of just blowing up that play, and Lioneers kind of stuck out in the middle, not knowing what to do. 4.5 seconds left to figure something out.
Yesterday on the Mandarin broadcast, Chen Ziwei, coach of Tian Hao in the college, there's a partially blocked shot before the shot clock violation. Here come the Pilots. All right, too strong.
Yeah, Lioneers fortunate there. Wide open shot for the new Pilot this season.
He was a free agent signing. Last year he was with the Taoyuan Bank. There's a deflected shot. And here come the Pilots once again. 4-on-2 on the right side. Wu Jiajun, recently finishing his summer tour on the national team, scores for his first points.
Yeah, he's one of those skitterbug guards that we see all over Taiwan. good in the open court, good using that speed. Again, good start in transition for these pilots.
I know what you're talking about with the type of player, but I've not heard skitterbug before. There's a foul on the floor.
I may have just made that word up. It's the preseason, Ryan. We're trying new things.
Excellent opportunity to do so.
As we see, again, 2 good looks on transition for these pilots, and I'm sure that's something that the coaching staff of the Lioneers was on them about this summer, and again, seeing in the preseason, still some room for improvement, we'll say.
Yeah, curling around, looking for room. So the captain, Evan, who's fouled on the drive, a little too aggressive.
Yeah, bad foul right there. And again, bailing him out with 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Really nowhere for those Lioneers to go. But again, good job by Evan getting open. Kind of bailing his point guard out there, getting stuck in the air.
Huang Han, also a free agent signing, but from the Taoyuan beer team of the SBL. There's a good contest, rattling in and out.
You said it right there. We had Wesley in the paint. Opportunity for a layup, kicked it out for a contested 3-pointer. Probably not the best decision.
They don't double off that pick and roll. The Pilots switch sides. Drive, and very small window, but blew the layup.
Yeah, obviously the Lioneers are fortunate here in the preseason. One of the few teams with an established big, as we see the Lioneers turn it over again.
Numbers once again, and an extra pass leads to the Hsinchu bucket.
But again, transition. Again, regardless whether it's off a missed shot, regardless of whether it's off a turnover. Again, these Pilots getting out on the break, with Lioneers not doing as much.
We'll go to a break and be back with the rest of this game. Back in Hsinchu Stadium. Quick timeout by the Lioneers after a 6-0 run to start this game off.
Yeah. Quick 2.5 minutes. Pilots out to a 6-0 lead. And again, we can hear Coach Lin there telling his team, again, transition defense, transition defense, transition defense. Again, they may have played yesterday, but that's really not an excuse. Again, stop the ball, get to the basket. Again, that's something that these Lioneers are going to have to figure out very quickly if they want to get back in this game.
A few times yesterday, the Kings were actually the second team to come out on the floor, as we're used to Coach Lin Guanlin Greg giving very detailed instructions.
Yeah, well, these FIBA timeouts are a little shorter than the timeouts in the U.S., so that's something that Coach Ryan's got to get used to in Taiwan as well.
One substitution, Song Yuxin is replaced by Elliott. Chen Jian, who receives up top, looks off the shot. There's Ryan on his favorite right block down low. Getting an opening, laying it off the front of the rim. Second opportunity, blocked out of bounds.
Yeah, good job by Pong Pong there after Li Yinghui got in then off this little chicken wing. Nice move, unable to finish. And then Pong Pong again, doing a good job verticality, stopping that basket.
Off the baseline, now on the left block, more physicality. The fadeaway rattles out. Pong Pong from the left wing to the right. Physical rebound by Huang Han. Aya with a step back on the much shorter Elliott. Got that one down.
Again, good defense by Elliott. Just not enough size there on that step back. Great finish by one of the Pilots' best players.
Lioneers still scoreless. Looking for an answer. Off-target pass. Elliott still trying to make something out of it. Deflected out of bounds, less than a second.
Again, Pompong just doing a great job. In there to help on that drive, in there to deflect the pass. Again, multiple efforts. Great job just holding down this Pilots defense.
Initially, the Pilots had players coming in, but Zhenzilong, Tony decided to stick with the current 5 guys. That is an interesting logistical thing. After this inbounds play, Tianhao throws it up before the shot clock, but it's no good. Fans might be able to see as they go back and forth. There's only one chair in front of the scorers table per side, and the 3 Pilots that are trying to get in are standing behind them. Deep shot from center, it's good. Named a Plus League first team player last season. Zhijing now defending, getting the rip. The ball deflected out of bounds.
Yeah, again, Aya with an unbelievable season last year, coming in as a leader in this offseason. Again, some great individual scoring efforts in this first quarter. Yeah, and these Lioneers, looking at almost 5 minutes here, no basket.
Substitutions for both teams. Guo Shaojie, Jay, and Oscar come in. We'll get you the Pilots changes soon enough. Shaojie driving baseline, but doubled. Leaving up to Evan with his fadeaway shot in Ling Sun's face. Out of bounds off of, I believe that's number 69. Oh, Hu Junxiang.
Again, these Pilots doing a great job coming off of the weak side, helping, stopping these drives, and these Lioneers not have enough time to swing the ball. It's tough to find good shots.
Elliott frees himself in the corner. Line drive shot too strong. I talked to Chen Zilong one time at a scrimmage, and he said, I'd like to play in a lot of the ways the same as Puyin has always been. Tough defensively and push the pace.
Yeah, you can see some parts left from that old Puyin system. Again, their wings run into the sideline, sprinting over, getting that sideline break going. Again, defensively, heavy defense, defensive pressure on the ball and on the strong side. Not a ton of switching we've seen so far. Again, stuff that's worked in the past, might as well keep using it for now.
Running low on time once again. Lioneers will fire from top, off the backboard and in.
Just like they drew it up, Ryan.
To the right side. That's Li Jiakang. Hu Junxiang to the basket. Could have been hit there, but lays it in anyways.
Yeah, again, just very little defensive presence in the paint there for these Lioneers now. Again, defensively really struggling against these drives of the Pilots.
Lioneers reset with pick and roll action on the right side, and Guo Shaojie nails the mid-range.
Yeah, we can see these subs coming in, giving a little bit more energy, a little more effort in transition.
There's a foul on the drive.
And that's something that it's really going to change once these imports come in. Again, we've seen these Lioneers guards very aggressive, trying to go for steals because they know that last year they had Hsinchu beat there to back them up. This year they'll have Sim Buller there. And so at this point, with only locals there to protect the basket, it's going to look a lot different than it will once those imports get in.
After a quick break, Zhijing is inbounding the basketball. Hu Junxiang, one of 5 members of Puyin who were called up to the Pilots, if we could say so. No good with a shot. There's a lob. Lioneers too deep though. With 3 Pilots on him, flings it up. Lioneers asking for a foul on that one. a little tougher of an ask the more defenders are in the air. And then out of bounds, Oscar with a deflection.
Yeah, but you can see again defensively, the second unit, especially Oscar coming in here, a lot more energy. Just getting deflections, getting his hands on balls. Again, kind of changing the defensive identity for this team. Now they just got to figure it out on the offensive end.
Pick and roll with Rolison leads to a Evan 3 off iron.
And again, we've seen that's something that teams have been willing to give up in the past, and we'll see if he spent some time in the offseason working on that shot, giving himself a new weapon. As we see Ayao once again just carving up this Lioneers defense. Layups at the rim for these Pilots in the first quarter.
That's 10 points for number 28, Hsinchu. 16-5 lead for the Pilots. Salje cuts middle, it's got deep positioning. The foul called on the rip by Ayao.
Yeah, you can see Ayao's expression, knows that he had him exactly where he wanted him, no need to reach in, but again, the Lioneers helping up on that pick and roll, getting by the big, and nobody there in the paint to protect the basket. Nice little finger roll finish at the rim for Ayao.
Lisa knocks in the free throw.
Salje, one of those free agent acquisitions for the Lioneers this offseason. Again, after coming off a championship last year. Hopefully bring some of the experience to these Lioneers.
Salje scored 17 points, which was tied with 3 other players for the game high yesterday's contest. Nice spin move and the layup. There's Lee Jia-Rui for the block shot. Now the Lioneers with a 3-on-3 will slow it up. Oscar on the left side. Later foul called on the rip.
Let our friends at home decide if that was a foul.
Pong Pong's back in the game, giving Ling Sun the break. Still the youngest player in the Plus League, even though he was with the Pilots all of last season. And after 14 players were drafted, Ja Kong driving right, shoot the mid-range, and get the deflection for the rebound.
Again, that's one of those areas that the Lioneers are going to have to work on.
3 seconds on the Pilots. That's a turnover.
We saw last year their best rebounder obviously being Tabit, but other than him, it was probably Oscar. Again, that little guard getting in there for double-digit rebound games. Again, some of these Lioneers bigs we talked about, they got opportunities to step up, especially here in the preseason.
Drawing a lot of comparisons to Russell Westbrook's rebounding prowess, but Oscar, I don't know if Westbrook ever sported an afro. His mid-range is out. Jing Xiang with a tough drive, finding Wenli Huang, his teammate last season, and connecting here for 2 points.
Yeah, great cut right there by Bill, getting himself open on the drive and able to finish with a nice hook.
Watch out, Jit dribbles right into Pong Pong. Yeah, that'd be a jump ball.
We talked about it this whole first quarter. Pong Pong just being everywhere here defensively in the first quarter. Again, once again there, forcing a jump ball. Again, not sure why he was there, but hey, forced the turnover. Good job, Pong Pong.
According to the Pilot social media, he lost 10 kilograms during the summertime.
Yeah, before the game, he asked me if he looked skinny, and well, if he says he lost 10 kgs, he lost 10 kgs.
Well, he might be thinner than he used to be, but he's still Pong Pong compared to the guys on the court right now.
Exactly. He's obviously one of the thicker players in the league, and he likes using that thickness there in the paint.
Ayao getting in a little bit of trouble. So we'll take the uber long shot from left and splash it.
But once again, we see the Pilots able to figure out that aggressive pick and roll defense of the Lioneers, swinging the early pass on the show.
Now the Pilots in a little bit of scramble, also in their 2-3 zone. Off target, but Olsen for the Elliott on the reload, also an in and out.
Yeah, these rims being very unfriendly to the Lioneers so far today.
Ball on the floor, Lioneers trying to push the pace here. Jarre crashes one Pilot out of the way, but it's basketball in the paint.
But again, who's the man on the spot? Too lazy to get on the floor, but again, Pong in there, poking the ball away once again.
4-player dogpile. Seems like the teams are playing hard once again after yesterday's contest.
Pong able to poke the ball away. Pilot's ball.
The Lioneers shared the basketball better yesterday, but also turned it over 19 times. 4 so far in their early goings of this contest.
And that's something you'd expect in these preseason games. Again, especially without imports. A lot of guys in situations. It's once again, IL just dominating this first quarter. Easy points in the paint, but a lot of guys are getting put in situations that they won't be in the next couple of weeks. Turnovers are to be expected.
Taoyuan to Evan, but that pass is deflected
by Pong once again.
Pilots will reset with Pong playing the trailer role. Sujin with Olsen switched onto him, but they're going to go to Pong down low, out and across. But good defense by the Lioneers.
Yeah, it was a good job by the Lioneers off the initial mismatch. Rotating from the backside, Oscar coming off her front to challenge on the drive. Unfortunately, again, just going for that steal, and then Evan sticking his hands right in a sensitive area. Hayden will have 2 free throws for us after this break.
With the timeout on the floor, it's kind of our chance to kind of catch up on things, Coach. So much happened during the offseason. The Plus League saw 2 new teams join the fray. We introduced the little black boxes on the referees to record their whistles. The draft happened. There's a lot going on. What do you want to catch up on first?
I'm just trying to catch up on everything, Ryan. Again, like you said, with these new teams, new coaches, new rosters, player movement. I mean, this is something that fans in Taiwan are really excited. I'm sure all of our teams from overseas, or our fans from overseas, are really excited to see the product that we have on the floor this year. Again, we saw yesterday's games here in Taipei with the Kings, putting on a good show for their fans, and I'm sure next week in Kaohsiung we'll have the same thing there. But a lot of exciting develops here in the second year of the P.LEAGUE.
Now, I talked to Chen before the game, and he said their draft process is a collaborative 10-man effort. What is your experience being a head coach and having your team going through an amateur draft?
For us, it may be a little bit bragging, but we never had one of those top draft picks. We were always the last draft pick. So really, at that point, there weren't a lot of players to choose. So we kind of just had whoever we had. Again, as with the coaching staff, some of the management coming together to decide, but there weren't a lot of choices. This year with so many players, so many needs for these teams, it was a lot more expansive and thorough process. And again, it'll be exciting to see. Again, these Lioneers have some of their rookies on the court. One of them's in there right now. Again, see how they do as professionals. It's what preseason is for.
We didn't shout him out earlier. Number 8, Taoyuan, the first overall pick in the 2021 Plus League Amateur Draft. Been working out a lot with the Lioneers all summer as they had good access to their Hsinchu County Stadium.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he adjusts. Again, just to a different level, a different playing style, different coach, different teammates. Obviously had great performances in college, but again, it's a new league for everybody, but especially for him.
For the fans who are unfamiliar, in the Plus League draft, there's a long pass. Players have to be 21 years old or 3 years in the UVA if they played at that level. Deflected shot. Here come the Pilots. It's Pong with the clear out. but lose the offensive rebound out of bounds.
And that's the thing that we know that these Pilots bigs do. They run the floor, occupy defenders. Again, not able to finish here on the break through contact, but again, we see Pompong maybe losing those, 25 pounds has made him a little fleeter of foot there, Ryan. I don't know.
Oscar Livingston's got a lane and one.
Again, and that's something that weak side has got to do a better job of, not getting in there to help off on the roll. Again, we can see some of his teammates telling the newcomer, Taoyuan, got to get in there, break up that roll. No easy baskets.
Too strong with the free throw. The number 13 referee called it on the baseline, and the thing about the new technology that +LEAGUE will be employing is these black boxes that will record whistles. Baseline cut and the easy bucket. Stitching out with the assist to Wenli Huang.
So again, second time this quarter we've seen Bill, number 45, do a great job just cutting off the ball. That time Ayao able to get into the lane. Bill with the cut, easy layup.
Off iron, Oscar missing the putback. Kind of in between rushing it up to the basket and trying to get a hold of it. Last possession in the first quarter, presumably. Bosalje on Stijingyao. Across to your right. That bricks that shot. The first quarter will end. Pilots up 26-8. The Lioneers feeling the fatigue from yesterday, perhaps. We'll go to the first, second quarter break and back with the rest of the action.
I fight you, I fight myself, I fight God, just tell me how many burdens left. I fight pain and hurricanes, today I wept. I'm trying to fight back tears, flood on my doorsteps. Life you live in hell, puddles of blood in the street. Shooters on top of the building, government aid ain't relief. Earthquake, the body drop, the ground breaks. The poor run with smoke lungs and scar face. Who need a hero? You need a hero, look in the mirror, there go your hero. Who on the front lines at ground zero?
For information on the +LEAGUE teams, the regular season schedule, and more, visit P.LEAGUEofficial.com. Both teams playing hard, but the Pilots way more effective and efficient with the big lead in the preseason game. We'll see what adjustments Coach Greg makes for the Lioneers.
Yeah, obviously, there's been a lot talked about the Lioneers' spate of games that they arranged. These Pilots not having nearly as much action. And they look like they've been eager to play all summer. Exciting to see somebody not wearing Pilots jerseys as an opponent.
So we mentioned yesterday, top scorers, 3 players with 17 in the first quarter alone. Stijingyao with 15 points, throwing an assist to a teammate, a steal and a rebound, filling up the stat sheet. 6 for 6, perfect from the field.
Yeah, obviously not including those imports. Ayao being the best player for the Pilots all last season, and after going through an off season of a lot of new players and new coaching staff, it looks like he's ready to retain that role on this year's Pilots team.
one of the leading scorers among all players, of course, but domestically ranking high up there with 14 points a game. Lioneers start the second quarter off with the basketball. The Spain pick and roll, and Oscar nails the deep three.
And again, if that's something that he can break open this season, it's going to change everything for him. You see, everybody knows about him, his ability to find people off his drives, but if he's able to hit from the perimeter, again, it's going to make things a lot easier for him.
Bandayo in for the first time this game, as there's a physicality called for a foul there. I think that's Chen in the corner.
Yeah. Former teammates, obviously last year, not nice tackle right there by E. I guess it is a Sunday here. Again, little NFL action here in your P.LEAGUE preseason games.
Pick and roll on the left side. Bill frees himself for a three and rolls it in.
And that's something that I'm sure the Lioneers weren't expecting to see out of him. Again, at this point, all these bigs are practicing that, popping, shooting that three-pointer. If they can make it, again, a lot more options for them in this day's basketball.
Oscar flies out of bounds off the double ball screen. He's matched up on Bill, who fancy steps through on the left side for two.
And again, we see Oscar, again, not able to contain on the perimeter. Bill, he's shown some nice perimeter skills here today with the extended jump shot and there on that drive and footwork.
Oscar charging inside, getting the foul.
Yeah, we talked about Pong Pong doing a good job getting there. As we see Bill once again, something that the coach loves to see but hates to see, that foot on the line, two-pointer, and then again with that nice little Euro step, left-handed finish, but here, the second-year player, Lin Tung, not able to get there in time and then swiping down at the ball. I'm sure something that Pong Pong will talk to him about in this next timeout.
First free throw goes down. So does the second. Oscar with 5 points. Bandayo, Killer Kwan. Passes it off and screens away. Xiang will hit the three.
Again, and that's something that we'll see in the preseason. Again, with new guys coming into the league, obviously with Liu Junshang, you should know that you're not going to be able to go through or definitely not be able to go under on those pick and rolls. You can see the rookie Taoyuan's teammates telling him you got to chase on that pick and roll, force him into that drive. And that's something that will get sorted out in these 3 weekends of games.
14 made shots on 22 attempts are the Pilots. Ryan drives baseline, dumps it off to Wesley. And misses the right-handed hook.
A much better job right there on the help defense by Lin Tung.
Corner, Jia Kong loose with the basketball and an unsportsmanlike on the chase foul.
That's again, you just got to know your opponent's tendencies. You know that Oscar's going to be going for that steal. Again, not a lot of room in that corner. Oscar with the clear path foul.
Actually, that was on the Jia Kong. So that will be more free throws for the guard. Knocks in the first one.
Yeah, again, Li Jiakong or Jackie, as we know him, and somebody who's been in this Taoyuan system for a few years. This is his first year getting called up to the majors and playing for the Pilots. And again, seeing some growing pains with him, but he's one of those bigger point guards. He's got the size that some of the other guys don't, and he can play with the physicality that some of these other guards can. See how long it takes him to get used to the plus league.
Running low on the shot clock. Elliott will shoot from the corner. off the front iron. Oscar tying up the dribbler, but no turnover called. Xiang from the corner, bouncing it out. So Jia Kang and 6 other teammates coming out of NTSU. That's the National Taiwan Sports University. They have a whole system that it kind of really aligns with the Pilots in Taoyuan. Elliot losing Killer Kwan for a second, but misses in the shot.
Yeah, Taoyuan practiced at those facilities for a number of years. Their head coach is now in the Pilots assistant. He's on their coaching staff as assistant coach, so obviously that relationship has reaped some nice benefits for both squads.
Down low, Wesley with deep positioning, but bounces it off his leg, and Killer Kwan will come away with it. Getting past Oscar behind the back, and the finish is good by Xiang.
Yeah, great job defensively there by Killer Kwan, digging in on that post, and then with the fancy little pass and transition for the layup.
One of those rookies who had a very impressive middle of the season. Poked all away, and Pilots with another possession.
Yeah, once again trying to go to Wesley in the post, another turnover. Again, might be time for a new strategy there for the Lioneers.
Curious, they haven't gone to the Yinhui. Pong Pong with another right corner shot and another make.
Again, there's that nice touch from the mid-range. Pong Pong showing it all here in the first half.
Oscar with a counter. He's the leading scorer for the Lioneers. And on the right side this time. The pace has picked up a little bit as Zhuliang will fire from the KK Box logo.
Well, again, and that's for our fans that aren't as well accustomed to Taiwanese college basketball. That's what he does. So again, lefty shooter, will shoot from range, and he's somebody the defense has to know where he is at all times.
Wandayo off the pick. Foul, I believe, before the shot.
And that's where we talked about the Pilots not doing a lot of switching. This Lioneers team loves to switch all these actions. Again, and that's where they got to figure out their rotations. And again, a lot of that as we see the nice little behind the back pass and transition. But again, a lot of these Lioneers defensive schemes are built up for when their bigs come in. Again, when Sim Buller comes in, obviously going to be a completely different game. So it'll be interesting to see when that happens.
Wandayo will head to the bench. Zhuliang will fire on the right side, and he's still hot.
Again, just too easy right there. No contest. Eye out. Easy little mid-range jumper.
Now the Lioneers without a center on the team, as Oscar drives all the way. Free run to the basket.
Yeah, again, we talked about with these teams having 3 imports, different combinations. As the Pilots have a brain cramp.
Call it a backcourt violation.
Yeah.
Miscommunication there.
Exactly. But again, the Lioneers here going with a, well, we can say 5-out lineup. Is Evan playing the role of the 5 here. Again, interesting to see how they do that.
Right now it's just Oscar on the ISO, but Evan gets free on the baseline for the three-pointer.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. These teams are going to let him shoot that shot. If he's able to make it with any type of consistency, it just opens everything up for this Lioneers team.
Captain's first points in the game, and there's a foul.
Yeah, I don't know what he's giving that look for, because that was a pretty clear slap on the wrist.
Could have been picked up by our microphones that we have here sitting courtside.
Well, he's got to get used to these refs too. Again, it takes a little time to understand how these refs are going to call things and which refs call what. Again, another unforced error by the Pilots. Again, getting a little sloppy here in the second quarter.
We mentioned it in the first quarter, but now we get a chance to talk to Coach about referees getting some assistance with technology as well. The black boxes will record their whistles, so we'll know who's making which calls, and then pair that up with our video technology to help the referees in reviewing their calls after games.
Well, Ryan, I am all for anything that helps these refs out. And that is all I have to say about referees.
Hard screen by Evan. He's going to be called for the offensive foul.
Yeah, that's what we see. Evan obviously being used as a big, bringing Lin Zheng up there. And that's obviously something that these Lioneers coaches think that they can take advantage of. And obviously a moving screen right there.
Even if it wasn't moving, I always question using your rear end for the screen, and breaking two guys down. Chen Ray now with a dribble drive and a lay-in, thanks to a couple bigs blocking for him.
Yeah, again, these Pilots bigs doing a great job with screen assists, just sealing guys, able to clear up wide open layups.
I've never seen that before, but Oscar getting the flare screen. They're loose with the basketball now, and the referees will talk it over. And it will be a turnover. Lioneers playing a little better, but doesn't show up on the scoreboard quite yet.
Yeah, again, they've shown a little bit more life, but defensively, they've really had no answers for these Pilots. They've fixed their transition issues here in the second quarter, but again, in the half court, these Pilots just getting layup after layup with really no resistance.
On the handoff, but Su Jingyao flies to the other side, hits it off the side of the backboard. I guess if there's such a thing as a heat check layup, that kind of is it.
Got to take notes from Bill off that little lefty layup.
This time, Ryan on the left block against the youngster in Lington. Doing a good job, but commits the foul anyways. He was sliding.
Yeah, that's, again, Lin Zheng had issues last year with foul problems. Again, going up against the vet. Again, with that little chicken wing. Lin Zheng getting caught. Again, Yihui at the line for 2 free throws.
Now, Coach, would you advise that the player maybe give ground and try to contest up in the air?
Yeah, it's something where he's definitely got a size advantage. Again, he's probably his first time going up against the savvy vet, somebody who you know is going to spin. You've seen that chicken wing once already. You know that you're going to have to give him a little bit of room. Again, he's just trying to get into your body and use that big old butt of his, clearing you out, getting at layups. So, again, we see the coaching staff over there talking, well, not talking to him, but I'm sure they'll talk to him eventually. Talk to him about how to defend that play, but hey, he missed both free throws, so maybe that was the right play.
Hong Hong with the through dribble.
But again, it's definitely an issue if we've seen these Pilots bigs being able to get into the lane, get in for layups, being able to create fouls on the perimeter, and that's something that's got to be concerning for Coach Greg right there and going forward.
One last note of the advanced stats, if you can call it. Lington fouled 6.01 times per 36, so foul trouble is something that he would like to correct.
How many fouls do we get here in the P.LEAGUE, Ryan?
You get 6. That's your disqualification foul. So safe to say he doesn't often reach the 36-minute mark game of minutes played.
He may have done it once last season, right?
I believe toward the end he did, with the Pilots very short in their rotation. Davon Reed, Kadeem Jack both hurt, and a number of their local guys also kind of limping and gimpy.
Yeah, again, that's where somewhere he showed a lot of promise there at the end of the season, but with any of these young players, it's going to be kind of hit or miss. As we see Tian Hao getting back in the game, same thing with him. Again, he had a very up and down rookie season. This coaching staff is just hoping to see a little bit of consistency going forward.
Ryan with a dribble drive, fancy handoff, and Kuo Jie will get the bucket.
Again, not a lot of space there for that drive, but nice cut there, able to finish through contact for the newcomer to the Lioneers.
Guo Shaojie, angry enough with the referees yesterday, he received a technical while on the far sideline. But talking to the coaches and the Lioneers people, they're like, well, if you score a bunch of points like yesterday, play it with that intensity, we don't mind once or twice. Besides, Greg needs to be absolved sometimes. There's a made three to counter it.
That's one of those that if you give me 17 points, I can live with you giving up 1 point.
That math checks out. There's a ball out of bounds.
Again, as you see this Lioneers coaching staff saying once again, do not go under those screens. You saw Leon try to go under and then changing his path, but again, with these guards for the Pilots, everything's got to be a chase, especially when you know that you have Sim Buller there waiting for you in the paint. At some point, not right now.
Not right now. The Lioneers show a little pressure, but back off. Ohan guarded by Zhu Yunhao. Hong turns it over on the pass. Would have been a nice tic-tac-toe play, but that's a turnover by the Lioneers. Jiaqing to the basket, stripped clean. Nice shot by Tianhao.
Yeah, great job recovering defensively to break up that fast break. Again, Hayden putting the ball out there. As you see, the nice strip.
That's an interesting thing too, Coach. In Taiwan, after the CTBA's announcement, it's out of bounds, some bodies going down. Players who go to UBA level have to play 3 seasons or be older than 21 to get drafted. So the players you're getting are a little bit on the older side compared to what NBA fans are used to with 18, 19-year-olds.
Yeah, obviously as the rules get established, everything's going to change a little bit. You talked about Lin Zheng still being very, very young. Again, Jackie throwing up the air ball, but he's another guy who came out very, very early. Maybe hasn't lived up to the promise, but still has a lot of potential. So, again, going forward, obviously a lot of things to be excited about coming up with the pipeline for this Taiwanese basketball.
Now, Coach, can you clarify something for me? If your shot hits only the net, but on a miss, is that still an air ball?
Yes.
I see. That time, though, Tianhao was late and commit the foul from behind on Hayden. It's kind of rare that Wu Jiaqing is not the shortest guy on the court. What Tianhao listed at 173 is giving up a centimeter.
Yeah, we talked about those little, what did I call them earlier? Skitterbugs? Jitterbugs? I don't even know what I called them. It's preseason, Ryan. Again, Hayden's going to get out there and transition. That's what, again, his coaches have loved in the past. Talked to Coach Charlie Parker pregame. Obviously, he's a big fan of Hayden, who he's been able to coach on the national team. Again, he just brings some speed, which is something that Taiwanese basketball loves.
That time, Chen Yurei got in the action from the outside. A ball out of bounds, Lioneers. So just over 3 minutes in the second quarter. Tianhao and Evan with a pick and roll. Leon, size disadvantage down there on the pass. Tianhao to the basket, off of one, pumping in.
Again, with the Pilots chasing him off the line. Again, great drive and finish there from the rookie.
And then another foul on the hands.
But again, we see the rookie Tianhao going under that pick, as we see the nice little finish there, going under the extended defense from Bill. Again, but these Lioneers guards continue going under these screens. That time Tianhao getting himself caught in a tough position. Chen Yurei able to get 2 opportunities from the line.
Well, clanks the free throw. Pilots with 49 trying to hit the half-century mark. And they do on the second attempt. So the Lioneers going big now as Lin Hui and Wesley both coming in.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be up to our fans at home to kind of use your imaginations, try and figure out where these imports are going to fit in for these teams. Again, obviously with all locals, we see a lot of extended minutes for some guys who you guys maybe aren't as familiar with, but nice to see here in the preseason.
Can you believe it? The Lioneers playing without a single guard on the floor right now. Ryan, isolated on the baseline, got a lot of attention in the block shot. Pump fake and a baby handoff for, I think, first time in the game. That's number 5 for the Pilots. Hafei Ziyenzong, who we haven't seen since last preseason.
Yeah, again, we talked about this entire first quarter. These Pilots are going to put a lot of help on the strong side. Again, not a lot of success for the Lioneers on that strong side. As soon as they start to swing it, a little bit different. But again, very interesting lineup, Ryan, as you mentioned, with no real guards out there.
Trying to go down low to Yunghao, who's got a size advantage on Jackie. But Jay goes to the basket, tough move. He's down with a few other guys, but they're up now. Yeah. Somehow the Pilots botch a 4-on-1, guarding themselves. Missed shot.
But once again, Bill there probably should have been a charge, but again, these Pilots bigs done a good job being in good position this whole game.
Ziyenzong out of Iso College. Foul on the floor.
Yeah, he's unless he changed it recently, his English nickname is Fly because
of Afe.
There you go. Oh, it's a time for your Chinese lesson of the day, Ryan.
Yes, Fei is fly.
Well, there you go, everybody. Yeah, he was in college. He was a very athletic player, up and down, a lot of tip dunks and things like that. Unfortunately, in his first year professionally, in the SBL, injured. I believe it was an ACL issue, so he took a couple years to get back. But again, nice to see him here in the Plus League.
29 years old, born in Kaohsiung, and like I mentioned, University at Iso, that's down south as well. But made free throws, those Lioneers keep chipping away. Afe is only 192 centimeters listed, but he surely plays a lot higher than that.
So these Lioneers going with the zone look today, right now, with that big lineup there. Again, see if they can stop some of that penetration. We'll do that possession.
But Gill to the middle, and an alley-oop. That time Evan, the captain, the recipient. I don't believe we saw that in the preseason. Domestic players hooking up for the oop.
Showing some benefits off that nice stop. Again, able to create a turnover in the middle of the floor. Alley-oop, defense and offense, something that coaching staff's gotta love to see.
English commentary is back. Your favorite coach, Ben Metcalf, on color commentary. Leave a like for him on the stream. Let's get another look at that oop. Got this place buzzing.
Yeah, usually you see Saljay on the other end. This time with the perfect pass and transition. Perfect finish.
At first I was not so sure it was going to happen as Guo Saljay had his head down, trying to collect the dribble. for most of that trip down.
Oh, I saw the Lioneers draw that up in the last timeout, Ryan. Yeah, again, they were going with that zone. They knew that they'd turn the Pilots over, get the alley-oop in transition, cut it to a 17-point game. Perfect plan right there as we see the Lioneers once again using all of their timeout time.
Last year, one of the most dramatic lineups we saw was Hsinchu in the middle, flanked by Rong Sun and Julian Wright in that 2-3 zone to start a game against the Pilots. That was crazy.
Yeah, let's see. Now that the Pilots have had a timeout to figure out how they're going to attack this zone, get a chance to see their zone offense for the first time this preseason.
Well, the Pilots are patient. The 1-4 for Hsinchu's wild shot on the drip to the left.
I don't know that anything from him's been wild this first half. It seems like everything's been going in for him. Already with 19 points here.
Evan given space, now closed off. Against Afe, foul and one. No space for elevation there as Afe commits the foul.
Yeah, and that's something where, again, Afe's not going to have the strength to go with him, and then gets under the body as Evan elevates. But again, easy catches deep in the paint. No weak side help, can't get there in time. It's going to earn Afe a seat on the bench.
Bouncing out for the free throw. 4 turnovers by Lee Jare, but consecutive buckets. Kind of making a comeback a little bit. Now the Lioneers go to man. 1 possession left in the first half. Hsinchu clearing out. Got a one-on-one against Wesley. With a head of steam. Interior pass. Pom with a baby hook to beat the buzzer.
But again, these Pilots have done the whole first half. Great off-ball movement by Pom there. Seeing his defender go help. Eye out with a nice look, and Pom with another mid-range finish, showing that patented Pom touch.
After a more competitive second quarter, we'll head to the halftime with the Pilots with the lead. You're watching the Plus League on YouTube. We'll be back with halftime.
Still got it. They say raps change. They wanna know how I feel about it. You ain't up on pain. Dr. Dre is the name. I'm ahead of my game. Still puffin' my leaf. Still fuck with the beats. Still not loving police. Still rock my khakis with a cup in the crease. Still got love for the streets. Reppin' 213. Still the beat bang. Still doing my thing. Since I left, ain't too much change. Still
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
Still
hitting them coders and them lolos, girl.
Still taking my time to perfect the beat, and I still got love for the streets. It's the DR.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
Still
hitting them coders and them lolos, girl.
Still taking my time to perfect the beat, and I still got love for the streets. It's the DR. Since the last time you heard from me, I lost some friends. Well, hell, me and Snoop, we dipping again. Kept my ear to the streets, signed Eminem. He's triple platinum, doing 50 a week. Still, I stay close to the heat. Even when I was close to defeat, I rose to my feet. My life's like a soundtrack, I wrote to the beat. Street rap like Cali weed, I smoke till I sleep. Wake up in the AM, compose a beat. I bring the fire till you're soaking in your seat. It's not a fluke, it's been tried, I'm the truth. Since turn out the lights, bring the world class, let me through.
2, 3 drinks, now she twerking, she throw it out and come back in. That's my best friend. She a real bad bitch, drive her own car. She don't need no lift in a strip club. Now my girl gon' tip, now she twerking, she throw it out and come back in. Is that my bestie in a taxi? Fresh blowout, skin on town, when she ready. Bitch, you look good with a T at the end. I'm a hyper every time, not my motherfucking friend. She been down since the jelly from the boat. Got me stepping out the deep in my nose. When we pull up to the scene, lady do it to the scene. If a bitch get in the key, she gon' bring the energy. I hit a phone with the scene, like, bitch, guess what? All the rich ass boys gonna fuck us. All this ass sitting up, but could look tough. Touching our back, that's some bands every time we make up. That my best friend, she a real bad bitch, got her own money. She don't need no wig on that dress floor. She got 2, 3 drinks, now she twerking, she throw it out and come back in.
The Plus League preseason heads to Kaohsiung next week, 13th and 14th, where we get to see the second new team of the Plus League show off their stadium and their team. Welcome back inside into Xinzhuang Gymnasium, where Eddie and Aaron are providing the Mandarin commentary. At halftime this game, I'm joined by Dennis Chen, shareholder of the Lioneers. How's it going?
All right, thank you for having me. It's wonderful. I mean, just to see preseason has started. All the game has been very exciting, and I can see we're going to have a wonderful season.
All right, you were here yesterday as well. What are your first impressions of the Kings home court here in Xing?
Oh, I'm impressed. I mean, first, I know this is a very nice stadium, and the sittings, the lightings, and everything is good. But you know, they got good crowds and a very good quality crowd. So I'm impressed. Certainly, the game was pretty exciting.
Sure thing. So let's talk about the Lioneers during the offseason. What are some of the moves that impressed you the most by General Manager Kenny Gao?
Well, you know, we lost a couple of very important pieces. So, but I think now we also Lin Hui, you know, came in is really helping the team to have that extra scorings and toughness. And Guosao just started to get healthy, playing a lot of minutes. Then of course it's wonderful to draft Du Yinghao, who probably still have a little bit of room to grow, but you know, it's a very good summer, I would say.
Sure thing. Even as the first overall pick, a lot of young players gotta elevate their games when it comes to the professional level, a whole different intensity. As someone who supported Taiwan basketball at all levels, so what can you tell us about your experience with the business of basketball? How is it different here in Taiwan than what you would imagine elsewhere in the world?
Well, I think now with all of the teams, all of the excitement, I think this is getting to, you know, all of the business needs skill. I mean, everything we look at it, the market needs skill. You know, you need, you know, when you run a company, you need to have the scalability. But so what I see is this market is getting big. You know, even though there will be a lot of chaos, a lot of, you know, complexity, but on the other hand, you know, the market's getting big. I think this is really helping the young player to get in.
We'll be going to a break soon, but when we come back, we'll get a little bit more perspective from Dennis Chen, shareholder of the Hsinchu Lioneers.
But we both know I hate waiting. You just gotta treat it like it's boring, baby. Drop a pin at your location. Straight to the head, you love and liquor. Feelings and alcohol's a mixture. Ride me like a Maserati. Ride me like a Maserati. Hey, yeah. Goddamn. 2 girls, 1 me. Oh man. Hey, let's dance. Back it up, no hands. Shawty wanna slide at the crib. Tell she slightly lace now. BBS diamonds for your rest. Tell she slightly lace now. There's something about the way you move your head. Tell she slightly lace now. shawty wanna slide at the crib. Tell she slightly late 6 now. She ain't even from around here. Everybody love me out here. If you ain't getting money around here, shut the fuck up, boy. You taking like a dummy out here. I just wanna drink a little till I'm unconscious. Swerving in the whip and we don't care about what the car says. Running through the city, got my Lexi on my wallet.
Slow down, baby. Girl, why that body going slow down, baby? When it go up, it can go down, baby. If you don't know what you know now, baby.
Viewers, welcome back. We got some quick hitters while we still have Dennis next to me on the English commentary, as Ben will be back for the second half. So one thing that people might say is Taiwan's COVID-19 preventions are very stringent, but that does present Taiwan with opportunity to recover from the local infection cases we had previously in the year.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously had a little bit tough time in the beginning of this year, but now with the vaccination rate, the first shot is over 70%, and then people have much more conscience in terms of how to deal with it. So I think now, from just the fact that we can actually open the gym for everybody and then get the game going, it shows that government has worked hard enough at least to improve and get it right.
All right, now let's talk about Taiwan as an evolving economy. This is something you have to do in your professional life before making plastic tchotchkes to electrical chips. What's coming up next for Taiwan as an economy?
Well, I think that Taiwan is not a powerhouse. But what Taiwan is very good at is being flexible, being very quick in terms of turn things around. Now, we relied a lot on the imports, a lot on exports. Now the domestic consumption is catching up, and also we're catching up a lot of the new way, the electrical cars and things like that. So I think the economy will adjust accordingly, but like everybody else, there will be some tough times.
That's it for us. We certainly are missing all the fans and viewers from overseas and tourism. We'll hopefully see you guys soon. Second half coming up.
Thank you for having me.
Trying to hit me. I'm innocent as fuck, but they trying to prove that I'm guilty. These little fees is crazy, thank God I'm playing with millions. In love with the streets, you by yourself a nigga tricky. Beefing with my homies, all I think about is Nipsey. Usually sip tequila, but today I'm off the Henny. Thinking about Nipsey, nigga, had to get tipsy. Gave my heart to the gang, do it the gang, it's a no-go. It's some niggas from the gang, nigga, do you for some promo. This shit in my veins, I done tattooed the logo. In court, they gon' judge me, he a member, it's for sure. But I don't care about what they think at all. Keep this wood alone, I'ma leave alone, standing tall. Chest poked out like, chin up, chest poked out like, my life be polar, ups and downs like a roller coaster. Chin up, chest out till it's over. I can't let this life sober. I'm out on bail, you motherfuckers trying to get me, but I won't tell. So for some time they trying to hit me. I'm innocent as fuck, but they trying to prove that I'm guilty. These lower fees is crazy, thank God I'm playing with millions. In love with the streets, you by yourself when they get tricky. Beefing with my homies, all I think about is Nipsey. You should tequila, but today I'm on the Henny.
Mamacita, where you at? I've been trying to reach you. So pull up, baby, can I see you? I'm down to meet you. Holding me, she want controlling me. Mamacita, where you at? I've been trying to reach you. So pull up, baby, can I see you? I'm down to meet you. Holding me, she want controlling me. Mamacita, we could bang, we could blow the speakers. You could be my pizza Nisa, senorita, Black Selena, Miss Anita. And get you pink ice like it's Easter. Say your boyfriend, hasta la vista. You could take a pic at the Mona Lisa. And I like a big butt like Go Anika. Me and YG energy, that's the only feature. If you suck a
我
nigga
们
up
现
when
在
I
时
say
间
you
剩
reek
下
up,
1
we
分
hit
半
you
不到
reality, then
请所有的球迷以及观众尽速的入座。
She on one with me.
比赛即将要继续进行。
She said, T-Rock, boy, you got everything.
The stars align November 20th and 21st for the third and final stop of the Plus League preseason tour at National Taiwan University Sports Center in Taipei. Fans filing back to their seats and the players getting the last bit of conversation, at least on the pilot side. Meanwhile, Lioneers nowhere to be seen with a minute left on the big clock.
Still waiting for these Lioneers to file back to their seats. You know, that'll be something new. We know that they're always second to come out of timeouts. This time they're really taking their time in there. Obviously a lot of stuff for the coaching staff to talk about after that first half, but again, that's what the preseason's for.
Now we see some green shirts. The Lioneers trying out their green and orange Windy City look during the Masters game. We saw them previously, but neither team all that eager to get out yet.
Any gradient on those jerseys, Ryan?
I don't believe there's any gradient. It's a solid block green. So from the first half, we kind of missed out on the stats as we had our nice conversation with Dennis Chen. Actually, my father. We haven't been on air since the Hsinchu stop back in October of last year. So on air, nice to catch up. Hopefully the fans enjoy some of that knowledge. And on the floor, Sijing with the top scorer with 19 points. He's really showing that what we call 一哥 kind of capabilities.
You know, again, we see these piles with 3 guys in double figures. Again, and that's something that I'm sure the coaching staff took a little bit of time to talk to that Lioneers team about. Again, just having some defensive intensity and kind of putting that defensive identity out there on the court, which is what you're looking to do in the preseason.
Meanwhile, the Lioneers only have Gao Guohao in double digits with 11 points, showing off the defensive intensity and some scoring prowess. Certainly in that second quarter, being a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, the Lioneers showed a lot more energy there, both defensively and offensively in the second quarter. Again, offensively started moving the ball a little bit, again, getting out in transition, but defensively continues to be a struggle there. Their bigs having a really tough time containing any penetration, and their guards having a lot of tough difficulty shutting down any of those straight line drives.
Now, yesterday's contest, both teams shot poorly from the free throw line. In the early goings of this game, Lioneers only 7 for 13. Something I would have thought would have been okay would have been free throw shooting, but apparently that hypothesis was not correct. Now they're ready to go. Pilots will start the second half with basketball. Wild pass out of bounds. That's Hayden.
And again, and that's something that we've seen Oscar do this entire game. And again, just being in there and changing the defensive energy out there in the game.
Will be the starters for the Pilots. As for the Lioneers, Taoyuan is in with the quote-unquote first team in this case.
Yeah, Lioneers once again having that pick and roll design to that single side roller. And again, it's going to look a lot different when you have Sim Buller rolling down the lane as opposed to Wesley Wu.
Evan in the short corner on the much smaller Sijing out will choose the runner and not the friendly roll. Pong Pong for Sijing out. The only 2 original Pilots members from last season. That's from the corner, splashing it down.
Again, knowing that Oscar's going to go for that steal, just making those extra 2 passes, getting it to the weak side is Pong Pong once again in the right place at the right time, creating the turnover. Again, these Pilots doing a nice job on both sides of the ball.
Shot by Ayao, short, and Oscar between 2 Pilots gets the defensive board.
Yeah, we mentioned definitely the Lioneers' best rebounder, Oscar, once again getting in there as the shortest player on the floor, getting that steal.
There's a corner-to-corner flare screen. And Ryan Running low on shot clock to the corner. Yunghao will find space, flip it off the front iron. But the Lioneers recover the offensive rebound. Physical play and nothing called, just 2 points for Ryan.
Yeah, I see the refs warning. Eye out right there for the flop. They'll talk to him and announce it on the next dead ball. But again, nice finish there by Ryan.
Physical play going down as Pong Pong lifts the shot up. Looking for an opportunity and overpass. But there's a foul on the floor.
Yeah, late call right there from the weak side ref. Again, trying to go that pass over the top. Ref thought that he got a little bit of a hook in there, but I don't know. It's like one of those NFL ones. He wasn't going to be able to catch it anyway, so maybe just let that one go.
Only one combined foul between the two teams in the third quarter, but we've seen plenty of physical play. This time turnover by Ryan. On with a body bump, leaves it short. Little empty trip down the floor, and Oscar all the way to the basket.
Seeing the Pilots get a little mishatch in transition. Nobody there off that initial penetration. Easy layup right there for Oscar, forcing the Pilots to call timeout.
Third quarter break before we get back to the action.
Popped up saying 50,000 in Japan. I ain't do no plan, these red bottoms on no van. And she telling all her friends, I might put them on the gram. Baby girl, what you doing? What's your name? I ain't play no games, see these diamonds in my chain. Smoking Mary Jane, yeah, I took it to the brain. And she fuck her for the fame, so I fuck her in my range. Ooh, get that money to the top, never stop. Mixing river walk, used to sell that Puerto rock. Ooh, but I'm the man, Cuban diamonds dance. Had to fuck a friend, I might put it on the gram. Baby girl, what you doing? Where your man? I just popped up saying 50,000 in Japan. I ain't do no plan, these red bottoms on no vans. And she telling all her friends, I might put them on the gram. Baby girl, what you doing? Where your man? I just popped up saying 50,000 in Japan. I ain't do no plan.
Coach, let me ask you, what kind of memories do you have of Hsinchu Gymnasium yourself as a coach or even a spectator? It's been a while, you said, since you've been in here.
Yeah, I got actually a lot of good memories here. I think 4 out of my 5 championships were won here.
Yes, your championships.
Hey, I got rings at home, Ryan. I got rings at home. A lot of champagne sprayed locker rooms back there. Again, had great victories with the Chinese Taipei national team in the Jones Cup. So again, it's nice to see as we see another turnover there for the Pilots. Again, it's nice to see Hsinchu Stadium with fans in it again. Again, it's somewhere that players love to play in, because when you have a big crowd, you get a lot of energy there. On about the third hit, the refs get that call.
See a lot of guys with the flexing of the head when they get hit, as we see get a replay of Ryan's left-hand layup. Switching out down the baseline, leaves it up. A little risky pass. Oscar pokes it out of bounds.
Yeah, you said it, Ryan. Once again, Oscar just doing a great job anticipating the pass. And that's something that these Pilots players are going to have to get used to. Again, they're knowing he's going to go for that steal and maybe that second read instead of the first read. As we have a little bit of a mix-up with the face masks. Safety first, Ryan, right? Safety first.
You know what? He could play with it. I don't think there's anything in the rule book against it, as there's an out of bounds, right?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of these scrimmages here in Taiwan. Again, a lot of guys are playing with masks on. Again, doing everything we can to keep everybody safe.
So, Coach, what's it on the counter for days spent at home and not abroad, like your job kind of partly requires it?
Yeah, it was I actually had a chance to go back to the States this summer, spend some time with the family as we see these Lioneers continue to start out hot in the third quarter. Again, being able to get out and come back and have Taiwan be pseudo-normal has been a nice luxury.
That time with it between the legs for Pong Pong, missing the shot in the offensive or a foul on the loose ball.
It's obvious that coaching staff's, I'm sure, very gentle talk that they had to him at halftime is paying off. We saw in the first half of these Pilots being the aggressor. So far in the second half, it's been the Lioneers being the aggressor. Let's see all three members of their coaching staff standing up, obviously getting all pumped up for this second stop of the preseason for them.
To Oscar, will be forced to start at the LT logo. Evan down low, trying to find space, gets it with elevation. What would it be so great to be 6'7"? Hong Han, the double doing out. Oscar's already taken Hayden a couple times, choosing to pass, and the foul by the Pilots.
Yeah, we've seen, again, that's a matchup that these Pilots are willing to go at one-on-one. We've seen each already get loose a couple times with a nice and one in the first half there, again, with a nice little touch from the mid-range. But again, if those Pilots are going to be willing to defend that one-on-one with no help, then he's going to have a chance to punish these defenders.
Evan with a step back to Oscar. Bricks it off the backboard. Lington curiously out of position on the rebound.
Yeah, we saw Oscar hit one of those off the dribble in the first half. That time not able to hit the three-pointer. That's something that we're going to be tracking this whole season. Again, we'll see what these guys have been working on in the offseason, what they've improved, and what different roles they're going to be able to play.
Jay with the steal. 2 to beat at the basket and gets the foul.
But once again, we see that ball pressure from the Lioneers paying off. Again, another turnover there. We saw Hayden with one. We saw Junxiang with, I don't know what he thought he was going to do. He went up a little bit early and came down right on top of Xiaoqie. Again, this is probably the first time we've seen him back on the court since he twisted that ankle in Hsinchu last year. So again, another one of those promising young players we have here in the league.
Makes the first free throw as both teams conducting little huddles. A lot of adjustments to be made for the rest of the game. Driving on Oscar, but the double comes. Got away with a double dribble perhaps, and Lington, the benefactor.
And that's what we talked about Jackie earlier. He's got the size that some of these other Taiwanese guards don't. That time, despite that little trap over half court, doing a good job stepping through, finding his teammate for the easy layup.
I've been wondering if anyone in the chat has noticed. As Evan drives, he ends up with some clear space. Calls for 3 seconds.
Yeah, we've seen these refs being very quick with those 3-second calls. So again, if guys drive into the paint, kick it out, and don't get right out, it's 3 seconds. And that's something that'll be interesting to see once these imports get here. A lot of big guys who like to hang out in the paint for a long, long time.
Switching out left open. Bails out on the rebound. Fortunate that it bounced off of Inghal's hand.
Yeah, but again, these Lioneers, other than Oscar, they got to put some effort onto these defensive boards, get themselves some of those open court opportunities.
Lington receives it out of bounds. Backdoor to Hsinchu with a double. A couple guys go down. Ryan, unfortunately, grabbing at his right ankle.
Again, nice job there by Ayao on that backdoor cut. Knowing that Oscar's going for the steal, unfortunately came down on Ryan's shin. Can't see from that angle which way the knee bent. But.
He's flexing the knee right now. Hopefully he's okay. He's heading toward the corner where the bench is with a little bit of limp.
Fortunately, and not a lot of left to right action there, just straight on. Hopefully he'll be okay.
I think if you remember during the finals last year, Zheng Xiangjun in the wrong place as Stephen Hicks came down on a layup attempt in the finals. He was carted off.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want to see here in the preseason. Guys just trying to figure out what they're doing and obviously not trying to get hurt.
Well, he's keeping it moving, so hopefully it's nothing too serious. Evan will drive, showing off improved handles, but right in the face of Lington. The easiest block he'll get all game. But on the other side, he has it poked away. Evan around 2, retreating Pilots.
Yeah, but defensively that first time, that's something that we didn't see happen in the first half. That time Lin Zheng just going up. Not sure what the Lioneers coaching staff is so upset about. Again, he did a great job just going verticality. Looked like he got hit on the other end, but have been able to get an easy bucket down there.
I do find it funny how the Pilots had 5 guys all up ahead while Lee Jiahui was left alone for the cherry-picked bucket after coming off the ground, of course.
Yeah, that's one of those where when you miss a layup, you always give up a layup on the other end, and that's where Bill, wasn't able to finish. You give up a layup on the other end, but again, we know that this Lioneers team always looking at every game like it's game 7 of the finals. Very intense over there.
4 teams out of 6 will head to the Plus League playoffs, a long ways from now. Lioneers feint a little pressure and retreat. Jackie finally beating Oscar with a dribble, and 2 Lioneers meet him at the hoop. Thankfully, nobody appeared to be injured on that play.
And again, it's going to be an adjustment. Again, Jackie not used to that gambling defense from Oscar that time. Once again, he's able to use his body to shield the defense. Oscar caught behind. And then Jackie catching 2 Lioneers midair. That's 2 shots from the line.
So we had a 4-person dog pile. We had 2 defenders with a little air collision. A lot of great things for the photographers around the arena. Rolls out the first free throw. Makes the second. (62-49) is the current score as Chen Hao, Louison, and Elliott are the subs for the Lioneers. Pong Pong in the game along with Bill. Out of bounds off the Lioneers. Chen Hao might have been bumped on the drive.
But again, these Pilots are doing a good job stepping over from the weak side, not doing any, allowing the Lioneers anything easy. Strong side, making them kick it to the weak side.
Horn set by the Pilots, and an offensive foul.
I think I'll take the blame for that one, Ryan. Keep talking about how Jackie's able to use that bigger body, has some physicality in there, got a little overboard, and got called for the offensive foul.
A little update for Ryan. Got an ice pack on his knee now, talking to one of their trainers. Meanwhile, Julian Hall having his fingers looked at. They were wrapped up quite heavily. On the court, Guo Shaojie with a high shot off to the left. Pilots will reset. The double comes early. And that's a turnover right to the hands of Guo Shaojie. Loose with the basketball. All 10 guys on the court right now.
Yeah, it's the first time we've seen that this game. Lioneers seeing the mismatch, going with the early double team. Again, Pilots with some suboptimal spacing there, leading to that turnover.
Sun looking at split action in the corner. Will lead to Evan bomb from outside.
Evan just showing us what he's worked on this summer. Again, with some work in the post there, some nice footwork. That time, again, shooting from distance. He knows that, at least initially, he's going to have those shots. And if he can hit shots like that, it's going to open up a lot of things for him.
So from the side, Pong Pong hands it off to Su Jingyao. They try to corner shot. Yingray out. They'll try from the top this time, and it's pure.
Again, with the Lioneers helping heavy on that Pong Pong pop. Nice one extra pass there to the shooter, Taoyuan. And again, hopefully he can start to find his groove here on this new team.
Not a lot going on, but Evan, with an opportunity, turns it over. 2-on-2, and all the way through. That's a turnover.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. Again, Taoyuan before on his previous teams, always the #1 player. You're trying a little bit too hard to fit in. Again, one extra pass too many, leading to another Pilots turnover.
Was a former Rookie of the Year in the SBL. Su Jiao is replaced by Lu Junxiang. Lioneers are trying to find a rhythm with this lineup of 5. They only have 10 registered players for this game when you're allowed 13. Elliott will pop free from the top and bury it.
That's what he does, catch and shoot threes. Nice find right there on the perimeter. Nice job by E, sprinting to the top of the key. Once again, forcing a Pilots timeout.
Just like that, the Lioneers pulled the deficit to within 10. Coach, you'll join us for the preseason games in Kaohsiung, is that correct?
Yes, I couldn't let you go by yourself, Ryan. A little fear of missing out there, please. Again, nice to see games here in a new arena, and then we got a new team, new arena down there in Kaohsiung. Really excited.
Looking back at the Evan missed layup to made layup on the other end. Then the deep 3. His game's starting to heat up as Oscar hasn't seen floor action in a little bit. Now Jare, the leading scorer for the Lioneers with 14, though he does have the 6 turnovers. So the captaincy of a team is also something that's an interesting element in Taiwan basketball and in FIBA basketball in general. Elliott will be the deputy, was Evan the captain for these young Lioneers.
Elliott's the deputy captain?
Yeah, he's the deputy captain.
That's going to be interesting because I think we've seen his struggles with the Chinese language sometimes.
It's not that bad, Coach.
Okay, you're very polite, Ryan. But again, being a veteran presence, he always has a lot of good stuff to say to his teammates. Sometimes just maybe a little bit of difficulty making sure they understand what he's saying. But again, we talked about new players, new roles, and new seasons. See Jare out there, obviously taking more of a leadership role here for this team. and doing a good job with 14 points so far.
A little bit more rough play as 2 Lioneers went down before eventually committing the foul on Bill, getting a low possession.
Yeah, Bill taking an elbow to the face and then a slap down. I'd go with a little physical play too. Why you call it a double foul, I do not know. Not sure what Bill did.
Quick check with the scorer's table.
So Bill got him with his chin. And again, Bill, somebody who's excited about this opportunity after spending the last couple seasons in the SBL.
There's an overshot air ball by Ingray, struggling this game.
That's something where it's going to take him a little bit of time. Again, from his previous team, not much of a system defensively or offensively, to come to this team where pretty much everybody knows where they're supposed to go offensively and defensively. It's going to take some time for him to get used to it.
Hayden was down on the floor. Kind of funny thing, the basketball will find you. He's still struggling.
But again, that's one of just those silly fouls. You know he's not going to move. You don't need to reach in. Stand there. Your teammate's there. Just trap him. But again, you give the ref an opportunity to make that call. You know refs love to blow their whistle, especially since this year they got those black boxes to keep track of when they blow their whistles, right?
That's right, Coach. You might have been used to FIBA ruled referees having multiple whistles on a play. Talking to JB Caldwell, the consultant for the Plus League officials, says he wants to move to a place where all the referees are in charge of their own responsibility areas.
I never got used to anything with the refs.
Previously, we saw Hayden get the body pump by Noisa. There's one of those spinning screens.
Yeah, that's something that the refs are going to have to go back and look at. I'm sure you talked about JB Caldwell coming in here to kind of help these refs out. And like I said, I'm all for anything that can get these refs better. I'm sure all these players are as well.
Coach Greg making an interesting point on the sideline, saying that Hayden was the one leading to the entanglement with his turning spinning move. Saw that trying to get ruled out in the NBA, and it's been a very different game this season than last.
It's something that everybody's going to have to remember. Again, you got a lot of imports, you got a lot of foreign coaches coming here used to NBA rules. A lot of these guys watch NBA games, but again, with FIBA rules and here in the Plus League, some different tweaks on that end too. Again, that's what the preseason's for.
To the corner, Elliott makes it in the face of Bill's sky-high challenge. Quick hands by Jay, guarding the much larger pom-pom. That pressure leads to a foul.
We've seen Pilots do a good job of attacking that pressure. Again, the hard show right there as we see Elliott with the high arcing little pull-up jumper over his former teammate, but again, Pilots doing a good job so far of attacking that pick and roll pressure.
Free throws for Jackie. His second trip to the line. Make that 2 for 3 so far. Three for 4. Both teams, after I did, maybe gently point out the free throw discrepancies. Elliott driving on Sijingyao. Nothing going on. So they'll go to a horn set. Evan left alone from the top. One bounce and in. As two players go down on the rebound.
But again, we see teams treating Evan like he's the Evan from last season so far. Again, he hasn't earned the defense's respect quite yet. As we see an interesting move right there for Bill. somehow able to get it through for the and one opportunity.
In between Hsinchu and Li Jiarui, the taller players for the Lioneers currently.
But again, we've seen these pilots struggle a little bit with two bigs in there, not able to find the spacing that they were in that first half. But Bill able to find that sliver of space and get the and one.
Once again, Hsinchu defending with his hands in front of his chest in the interior. Very dangerous situation.
And that's something that he's got to learn. Again, he had an entire season to figure it out last year. Again, if he's still making the same mistakes as he was last year, there's really not much you can do about it.
An out of bounds turnover by the Lioneers.
And that's something where Evans, again, he's going to have a different role once the imports come. Again, we've seen him with a lot of turnovers today because the ball's been in his hands a lot. And again, obviously with the imports coming in there, you're not going to rely on him to create nearly as much on the ball. So these turnovers, while concerning, probably not as concerning to the coaching staff when you think of the big picture.
Less than 45 seconds left in the third quarter as there's a trap. Zhengxiang. And a foul, forcing the shot up, but Evan doubled down on the floor.
Yeah, good trap right there. Bill, again, able to move out there, bail his teammate out, and somehow getting another trip to the line. But again, you see those two hands. If you're going to put two hands on a player's body, that's going to be a foul. I mean, there's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Although the Lioneers fans seem to disagree.
They, like you, disagree about a lot of things officials are calling. Is that a quadruple doink and in?
The Lioneers fans only disagree with half of them. I disagree with all of them, right?
I see.
What are you talking about, Ryan? I love the refs.
That's right. Oscar seated, trying to come in the game. As the Lioneers secured the rebound. Down, trying to pass and screen. Swinging around. Elliott will fire. His shot too strong.
Again, Pilot's lucky there. Probably shouldn't be going under on E's handoffs, but able to get a stop, and one last shot for the Pilots.
Tiao applying the pressure on Jackie, who gives it up. 7 seconds on the clock. Zhengxiang. Zhengxiang with a quick move and blocked by Hsinchu. Can he get it in? Out of the confusion, Pilots get one extra putback, but no good. And we'll head to the fourth quarter. Pilots seeing their lead reduced right now, 72-60. The fourth quarter coming up.
Day of the week with the legs in the air, I want a freak who just don't care. I need a freak with a big ass butt, make all the niggas stare. I need a freak, bounce to the beat, yeah. Freak hoe, tell me what to eat, yeah. Freak girl, tell me what to sleep, swallow on the meat, tell me if it's sweet, yeah. I like a freak, do it in the car, leave, come on the seat. Do it in the dark, I don't even wanna see. Open up your door, I got a big ass key. Yeah, like a freak though, baby, bend your knees. So nice, make her say please. Like a lolly, lick it till it's clean. She looked at me.
Just keep it 100 when I throw these hundreds. I hope that your ass gon' know what to do. This my way, do it like that and I don't be scared. Just like that, come my way. This my shit, this my way, do it like that and I.
The Plus League season kicks off December 4th at Taipei Heping Arena, where the championship Taipei Football Braves take on their finals opponent in the Formosa Taixing Dreamers. As we get another look at the two-handed shove, it had to be in the penalties, as it looked more like a foul on the floor. General Manager of the Lioneers, Kenny Gall, with some choice words on the side.
That's something where the Lioneers are in mid-season form. And again, we talked about their very rambunctious group right there on the bench, coaching staff, management. Again, they're very invested in all the games, and they have been, regardless of last year's preseason, through the regular season, through their own games that they held this summer. And again, that's something that as a fan you love to see. Passionate players, coaches, and ownership. So now we just hope that they can cut into this 12-point Pilots lead.
Oscar was sitting on the sidelines for a lot of that last minute, but he's in to start the fourth quarter, joined by Elliot, Taoyuan, Evan, and Wesley. Meanwhile, for the Pilots, going with Hayden, Ingray, Honghan, Bill, and close to us, Junxiang, number 69. Was Rookie of the Year last season with the Taoyuan team. 3 rattled in.
Again, and that's where we see Evan doing a good job of not thinking. Again, catch and shoot, not having to really worry about putting the ball on the floor, pass, dribble. Again, good job there again, just making shots as he continues to lead this Lioneers team.
Wesley trying to apply pressure on Hayden, leaving Honghan open in the corner, and he buries it.
And again, we've seen the Pilots do that this whole game, just attacking those showing bigs, being able to cut back and find the open man. Again, great job by Bill Rowland occupying the defense, and great find by Hayden.
Just Honghan's third, fourth, and fifth points of the game. Meanwhile, Evan has reached the 20-point mark. They got a mismatch down low. Can't find it yet. Elliott has to force one up off the backboard and off iron, luckily. Pilots getting rebound into a layup on this side, left-handed in.
And once again, we see Bill doing a good job occupying the defense. Again, able to snake in there, and another transition bucket for these Pilots.
Junhal off the handoff with a pull-up, wildly off the backboard.
See, again, that's a shot that Taoyuan would shoot on his previous team. This time being a little bit shy. Passing that shot up for an and-one opportunity for last year's Rookie of the Year.
Junxiang getting around Evan, using the English for the bucket. Pushed off by Junhal, then Jiawei kind of caught with his leg in the wrong place.
That's what we see. Again, these Lioneers, you mentioned it with Ronnie said. Again, we saw it there with Jiawei. Again, a lot of action with the hands, just pushing, and that's something where these refs are going to make that call automatically. And again, doesn't matter if it's a foul or not. If they say your hands on their body, it's a foul. So again, hands up, verticality, something that these Lioneers bigs got to work on.
Oscar driving, forces up a shot, gets it to go.
Yeah, not much there. Oscar able to put that floater up over the defense. And again, trying to pump his team up here.
In their man defense, Taoyuan once again committing it on the defensive side. Back door and made shot. Once again, Junxiang.
You said it. Once again, Junxiang, once again, back door. Again, against this aggressive defense, Pilots doing a good job of finding easy opportunities.
Evan on the left side, meeting resistance. Second, third attempt is good. Lioneers, we keep on saying, are playing with a short rotation with a couple guys hurt. Wild pass will be out of bounds off the
seen all these different lineups here for the Lioneers. A no point guard lineup. Here we see one with 2 point guards. But regardless of what it is, we've seen Evan being in there, being very active there, putting in his own miss.
Ray still not finding that rhythm. He'll come take a seat on the bench for Aya to come in. Big roll action. Wesley ended up on the floor. Now a little full court pressure. Impromptu. 3-on-2. In the corner, off iron. And here come the Lioneers. The hot hand of Evan, got it!
Again, catch and shoot opportunities. They're gonna change everything for these Lioneers. Again, struggled last year with the 4 position. Again, if Leon's able to give that to him, good thing.
Ziging out with mid-range, short. Long rebound to the Pilots. Bad spacing, they need to correct that in a hurry. There's Oscar guarding with his hands that time. Called for the foul.
Yeah, that's something these refs have been very consistent about. Again, Pilots done a great job, as we see once again. Nice catch and shoot from Evan.
Number 12, Jackie will come in. Sun in for Wesley for the Lioneers. There's a small, big pick and roll. Another offensive board for the Pilots. Ayel got cold a little bit, then makes the mid-range.
And that's just a killer for teams making those runs. They've done a good job getting some stops, getting a little bit of momentum, but those second chance opportunities just kill that momentum.
Oscar rejects the screen, will take the tough left corner mid-range shot. There's Lee Xiaowei with another offensive board. This shot leads to the Pilots. Air ball by Jackie. There's some butterfingers as too hot to handle for Guo Shaojie running the lane.
And again, those decisions in transition. Again, 2-on-1, but just airmailing that pass. I thought he was going to return the alley-oop we saw in the first half, Ryan.
That would have been the best thing ever.
Let him know.
Well, it didn't happen, so I can say that.
Exactly.
Jackie trying the dribble drive. Loisen got a hand high and a hand low. It will remain Pilots basketball. The referees will go to the monitor.
Well, exciting times here in preseason. Did we have a review yesterday, Ryan? I can't remember.
I don't believe they went to the monitor a single time.
This is our first review of the preseason of this 2021-22 season. Can't wait to see how it turns out, Ryan.
Quite a mouthful. Good job, Coach.
Hey, I'm a professional. We're all professionals here in Taiwan's premier professional league. Right?
That is what the P does not stand for, but
well,
that is a nice association.
You should get me on that marketing team, Ryan.
That's a great idea. So after looking at it, and they will change it to Lioneers basketball. Now that wasn't a coach's challenge. Remind the fans that each team has one challenge per game. There's Loisen kind of doing it a little differently than Hsinchu to beat. Kind of getting that low hand on the basketball, not on the shoulder.
Well, I'm satisfied. That was an exciting review.
I'm happy for you. Oscar rejects the screen, takes the three a little short, got his own board. Done past the J, but in a crowd of Pilots. With how the game's gone so far, the Pilots immediately think should be a 3-second call, but it's a jump ball.
But again, other than Oscar and his presence on both the defense and offensive glass. These Lioneers really struggling to find another person to help out. Obviously, a little less of an issue when Sim Buller comes in, gobbles everything up.
But another giant in the league will be Samuel Zigara, who's plays for the Braves this upcoming season. Dribble drive action leads to Lee. Fouled at the rim. Guo Shaojie tried to contest, but fouled.
Yeah, nice little extra pass there. And, again, we see Shaojie meeting him in the air, but coming down on the ball. It's something that's going to be called every single time.
Well, does it also affect how violently you take your arm swing?
Hey, he's been taking a lot out on everybody today. He got Bill in the face with an elbow earlier, that time with the rookie, because he's still a rookie, right? Until that first regular season game, you're still a rookie. So, some anger management issues out there for Shaojie.
I heard Coach Greg checking the fatigue of the players. Their rotation's getting shorter. We haven't seen Leon for, I believe, almost the entire second half. And of course, Ryan is out with his knee tweak. Hopefully he'll be all right.
Yeah, obviously, coaches in these preseason games, they don't want to show too much. Again, they don't want guys to get injured. They don't want guys to get too tired. So always interesting to see those strategies.
Nice find. Louisa lays it in. Assist by Oscar.
Again, nice roll right there.
And then Ling with the butterfingers missed out on an awesome finish.
Yeah, just an assist killer right there off the nice pass and transition.
Pump fake and drive. Hong Han with a lefty finish.
And that's what he does. He's got that herky-jerky pace. Tough to contest. Again, an undersized, really utility man. He played the 4 in the SPL. Probably should play a little bit more of the 3 here, but again, a solid addition to this Pilots roster.
Double thumbs, Louisa. Had that pick, and the shot clock will go off.
But again, teams knowing that if you force them to put the ball on the floor, force them to make decisions, a lot of issues for Evan here. Again, he may be getting close to a triple-double with turnovers, right?
Sure is. Hong Han, and we saw yesterday, and we'll see later, Jinyota, JJ, last year with the Taiwan beer team, the champions of the SPL. That looked like Su Yinghao and Lo Yinsen got their hands on Taoyuan Ray on the screening action.
That's where the Pilots have done a good job attacking with pace. Again, these Lioneers bigs having trouble keeping up with them. I mentioned earlier, Lin Zheng with, what, 6.01 fouls per 36. I bet Dong Yishen's up there for these Lioneers.
He is very high up there. I think it's up to 7. But first, the action on the floor as Goggle Hao catches Su Jingyao's leg.
Yeah, that's
one of the most interesting photograph games we're going to ever have.
Yeah, I'm jealous of that flexibility. Obviously, getting that yoga in.
Point set for the Lioneers. Yinghao getting read by Hong Han once again, locking guys down. Elliott will take the deep 3 and all net.
Again, stuck with the ball at the end of the shot clock. Good job right there by Elliott. And then I'm not sure if we got a foul or the turnover. Or not sure what's going on there. As High out took a spill, ball flew into the sidelines. As we see E with the pull up from deep.
Lo Yinsen, who is indeed at 7.07 fouls per 36 in last season. As Su Yinghao takes the deep 3. Oscar almost flung it all the way in. But commits the foul on the rebound. I guess the second rebound we could call it.
Yeah, that's again, these bigs have to be aware, you know, that regardless whether it's him or Tian Hao, they're going after those rebounds. And then after you get the rebounds, they're going after the steals. So good job by his former teammate, protecting the ball and getting himself a couple free throw opportunities.
At the line, Ling Chen. Getting it to a 13-point lead. And hits both.
And nice touch shown right there by the rookie. And he gets a seat on the bench as his reward.
Zhi Yanzong and Guan Dayou are the two Pilots players who've seen floor time but have not scored. Zhu Yinghao getting pressured by Ayao as Loingson has a little baby collision with Elliott. Bodies on the floor. Oscar comes away with it. And Yinghao will beat the shot clock, but goes to the floor.
Yeah, just a gong show right there, spacing-wise for the Lioneers. Everybody and everywhere else, and everybody in everyone's way. But 1.9 seconds left to salvage this possession.
That was actually a key that JB Caldwell pointed out, is for the trail official to stay in the play. Might have missed something in the corner there. Lioneers call timeout. Maybe give their guys a breather, get a reset to this game. We'll go to a break before the rest of this Plus League preseason game. Thank you, fans, for tuning in. Taoyuan viewers, we've had a good run at 0 domestic infections, but for more information on how to stay safe, visit cdc.gov.tw/en for the most up-to-date information. The upcoming matchup will be the Taipei Fubon Braves against the host of this first preseason stop, the New Taipei Kings. We'll see how this arena feels at the 5 p.m. tip, yesterday's game. 2:30 affair. There's Hsinchu, known as Johnny. Last year was the Taoyuan head coach, and now he's joined Tony's staff, Sun Zhidong staff.
You see the Pilots head coach from last season, Yang Yifeng, right there on the bench, obviously giving some advice to this new coaching staff. But again, through one quarter today, or for one game, it's looked so pretty good so far.
Switching out with the highest finger roll I've seen off the backboard.
We talked about things that got left over from the previous regime. Again, that time we saw Taoyuan running to the corner, dragging the defense, and getting a nice layup for Ayao.
Once again, Loingson getting called on that spinning screen.
7 for 36, Ryan?
7 for 36?
7 per 36.
Oh, 7 per 30. Yes, that is correct.
Sorry, my English is not so good.
At least your Mandarin's excellent.
Well, maybe I'll go over to the Mandarin broadcast next year.
You've done it before, Coach.
I have. We'll see if that's what the fans want. It's all about the fans, Ryan. Is that one of the P's?
That would be no, but also a great marketing suggestion by Benjamin Metcalf. Good shot by the Pilots. Under 3 minutes.
You mentioned Leon out for pretty much the entire second half, getting late time here in the fourth quarter. Let's see how long it takes him to warm up.
Started today's game just like he started yesterday's game. Also had major ankle injuries last season. Kept him out for a lot of the action. He scored 4 points yesterday. Oscar gives it up. Junior Hall got to look out for his long distance shot. He went right into Pong Pong and took a hard fall.
Yeah, you can see Fly pushing him hard to that right hand. Got him on skates a little bit. Pong Pong not able to get there in time. Poor position, called for the foul. 2 shots for the rookie.
It seemed like he got the shot after the hesitation, but chose to drive once again.
I think after he made that first three, he's missed a couple, obviously. Just trying to get a feel of this arena, the ball. Maybe trying to get himself to the line, get an easy opportunity, but the first one wasn't quite as easy as he thought.
That's right. In the Plus League, new basketballs as they're signed on with Molten after using a different brand in the first inaugural season. Fouled on the bump by Oscar. And in the penalty, looking at the crew, 1 new referee in this game as well. 9 have joined the Plus League roster.
We've got some new faces for the league here. Obviously, some experienced refs that we plucked from some of the other leagues. Again, here being the premier professional league in Taiwan, it's good to get some more refs involved, improve the quality.
Does the P stand for premier or professional?
It's a premier professional. There's 2 P's right there. I'm sure over the next couple months, as we see Oscar with a beautiful finish there off the drive. Pong Pong occupied. There's some more P's for you. Pong Pong, we can get lots of P's for you throughout the season.
Out guarded by Oscar with a little crease. Jump up for Pong Pong. His baby hook. Don't see it on the right side too often. Got it.
Yeah, out sucking in that help from the big. Pong Pong with a nice roll, creating a lane with the easy finishes. The defensive intensity has dropped a little bit, to say the least. Both teams, looks like they're looking forward to games next weekend in Kaohsiung.
Miscommunication once again by Pilots. That was a feature that they kind of displayed last year. High assist
miscommunication?
Yes, miscommunication as well. High assists and high turnovers, and this team, even with the a lot of new additions, are kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's what happens when you got a lot of the same players. Again, everybody's still trying to figure out these new systems. Again, we've seen the Lioneers make a lot of tweaks as well, so I'm sure other than maybe the champion Fubon team.
Oscar including Taoyuan's shoe in his defensive effort as they play a little 2 basketball. Must be pretty good shoes if he was hanging onto it the whole time and committing the foul. Probably something you can get away in the preseason and not the regular season.
Yeah, hey, I don't know that I've seen that. Oscar picking it up, picking that shoe up, tossing it over our direction, and then being able to get a blow by with a nice little kiss off the glass. Again, a lot of things different here for the rookies. Yeah, we have to learn to tie their shoes a little bit more.
Fans, just like we are, trying to figure out what's going on through the replays provided by our broadcast partners in FTV today.
Nike just thrilled that they get a couple extra seconds of ad time there.
Oscar receives the handoff. Guan Dayo guarding him. Now fly. Fade away. Off iron. Xiang blocked by Long Yisen, but Ling Sen left open underneath.
Again, no weak side help. Again, Long Yisen with a great help. Nobody picking up his man. Easy layup for the top.
Oscar driving right. With a big hesitation. 2 guys in his face. Still got it.
Again, Oscar taking advantage of every minute of this game. Putting some more points on in the last couple minutes of a very entertaining game. See if these pilots can get to 100 points.
Nayo will take the mid-range, and I believe that was an air ball, but it was an air ball. It was an air ball. Sorry, Guan Dayo. But the Pilots do get the W in the 97-82 victory over the Hsinchu Lioneers. Their first preseason meeting. We'll see how the rest of 9 more games of the preseason schedule shake out. Coach, you feel okay? Ready to do a second game?
Hey, let's run it back. Preseason action.
Stick around, as in the post game, our colleagues on the Mandarin broadcast will interview a player or a staff member before the nightcap. Taipei Fubon Braves take on the home New Taipei City Kings. We're being told Shi Jinyao Ayao will be the player to be interviewed in the post game. We'll bring that to you right here. After having a hot start, he ended up leading all scorers with 27 points, with a slight edge over Li Jiarui, captain of the Lioneers, with 25. 21 points by Oscar Gao Guohao, putting on a show in the fourth quarter. Eddie bringing up how the team is gelling, including a lot of new members. Says the team is putting their trust in the coaching staff to get them organized, giving them the directives and some structure. Tony Zhenzilong in particular emphasizing that every day is a chance to improve, so they'll continue to work hard. I asked about the differences from the first season to the second. Ayao saying that last season he was running more of a point role, long possessions of the basketball. But this season they'll try to go at it a lot of different ways with a lot of different guys. Now, Aaron asking about being the ace, we call them in Taiwan. Wang Pai or Yi Ge.
老实讲，就是身上有一些伤势，可能
His response is
打完的时候都是
he's focused on being healthy
到第2场的时候
and being a leader on the team and leaving the things on the floor to the whole team to shoulder.
我也是会朝着 MVP 的目标去进行。
But MVP is still going to be a goal for himself.
谢谢。
Thanks for Sijian for joining us in the post game. We'll be back after this.
I'll show you how to do this, young.
不要犹豫了，好不好？我看到有人在犹豫，千万不要犹豫了。难得玩游戏的机会，大家可以放松一下啊 ，chill 一下。
Take your father, we go father as a couple. They ain't lose a daughter, got a son. I'll show you how to do this, huh?
那这边再次提醒了，说还在我们新庄体育馆的所有的朋友哦，我们目前要进行的是暗场的动作。如果你还在走道上或者在楼梯间哦，请注意自己脚下的一个步伐哦，注意自己的安全，谢谢。
等一下呢，会是我们的新北国王队对上我们的富邦勇士队，然后我们比赛呢，等一下非常快就要开始了，所以请所有还没有入座的球迷，麻烦帮我们尽速入座。那如果你要上厕所呢，不知道在哪里，也可以询问我们有带工作证的工作人员。
The sights and sounds from Game 2 of the Plus League preseason, where the Pilots pulled away with a 97-82 victory, having a big advantage in the rebounding department and taking the lead in the assist department. It was sloppy at times, Coach, as you would expect with any preseason game, but what do we see out of the Pilots?
Yeah, again, a very energized team there. Obviously, 97 points with all locals is something good. And again, a good start for them and for their only game of the weekend.
Coming up at 5 o'clock is the Taipei Fubon Braves against the new Taipei Kings. We'll bring that to you shortly. Thanks for watching.